Want to be a part of the revival? Get your exclusive merch now. Shop our online store and show your hometown spirit.
Hey guys, once again, Brad Clay here, director and executive producer of Cal's Hometown Revival. And right next to me, we've got Cal herself. Look at her rocking the old Cal's Hometown Revival merch. We got this cup right here. She's got the shirt. It just tastes better from a Cal's Hometown Revival.
Cal's Hometown Revival's cups will actually remove all caloric value from any drink that you take. Especially the seltzer waters. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Oh, I've meant to. Our last one of these, you were.
Excuse you.
Sorry, back to the merch. Okay, now what, Brett?
I was going to reference when we talked about Waxahachie in our last behind the scenes episode. We were rocking the big oversized sweatshirt. And we didn't talk about it, but you were like, this is my favorite sweatshirt.
Because it's so comfortable. Like, it's so comfortable that I'm going to get it in all of the designs and sizes and everything. Like, I love that sweatshirt.
Yeah.
You are going to see me living in that sweatshirt.
We do have a ton of merchandise for Cal's Hometown Revival, and so if you want to support, it's a great way to support what we are doing.
100%.
Well, not 100%. Of your proceeds go to the show. No, I'm just kidding. It really is a great way for you to support us, support the brand, support Cal and what she's doing.
Thanks,
we've got everything. We got cups. We've got tote bags. There's kids' clothes. All the way. There's a ton of stuff.
It's a great way to get the word out. If not anything else, you're just a big, giant walking billboard for Cal's Hometown Revival, and it helps us out.
And this is very grassroots. Everything we've done has been very, very grassroots. And that was kind of the set out, was to do this our way and remain in control of the content. And we've done that. And so you can support us by visiting calshometownrevival.com and go into our store and placing an order and get some cool stuff. And support what we're doing. So anyway, but today we are looking at the behind the scenes. Hopefully you found us today because you've just watched our episode in Angleton, Texas.
Love Angleton.
Angleton, Texas. It started out so good by me flying into the wrong airport.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
I flew into the wrong airport. So I fly into Houston.
I've got a great story for that because I pulled up and I came and picked you up from that airport, and it started with me pulling up into the pickup lane, and Brad takes his suitcase because it had been an extraordinarily frustrating.
I don't remember where I was flying from.
You were flying from some other engagement.
Yes, I had to speak at an event.
Speaking at an event, and when I went to pick him up, it started with just. Have you ever seen curling where they launch the large rocks? He did that with a suitcase in the pickup lane. Just had to yeet something. Sometimes as a guy and you're frustrated and you're mad, it just helps to just yeet something as hard as you can. And that was the suitcase.
That's kind of my motto a little bit.
And he got in the car, and I was like, Brad, you need something to eat. And he was like, I do.
Oh yeah.
That would help. So we stopped at the nearest Jack in the Box, and it was all good. Good sailing from that point on.
Yeah, I got to sit in the back seat of the car with your 3 kids, tucked up next to Addie Faye in her car seat, and I got to watch her iPad with her as she watched cartoons as we drove from Houston down to Angleton. So it started a little bit rocky for me. And really, everybody had a little bit of travel issues.
We drove down with all the kids, and then crew had travel issues. It was all kinds of things.
What time did y'all get to bed that night? And we had
early. I remember I called you and I said, "Hey, I'm having some travel issues. I may need a ride from the airport." And you were like, Cal was like,
can't do it. Sorry.
You really were. Cal was like, yeah, man.
I just drove 7 hours. And got there that day or whatever. I was like, I am not. And the reason is because you can't pay me enough money to go to the city. Like, to fight me driving in Houston traffic would have been the scariest thing of that entire episode. So when you were like, just come pick me up at the airport. I was like, You know how many?
Told me no.
You know how much traffic I would like those high rise driving on those tall things.
That may have been in the season 1 of Cal's Hometown Revival, the most selfish act.
It's okay.
Played out.
I went and picked him up with my wife and 3 kids in the car too. No big deal.
No big deal. And listen, there was other crew members there too. You guys were like at the wrong. No, you
I was
were
at the wrong airport.
At the wrong airport. They were at the other airport. Mm-hmm. I was in Angleton already, chilling at the hotel.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like,
I'm gonna have to put my shoes on. I'm out.
I was so tired, and I was like, "No, Brad," because then
your exact words were, "If nothing else works out, let me know."
Because it was gonna be so late, and I already knew like the next day I was gonna have to get up super early. And the energy. Listen, y'all don't know this about me. You're gonna think I'm an extrovert. I am not an extrovert. I'm very much an introvert, which means I only have so much energy before this battery shuts off. And I knew getting in at whatever time you were getting in, and then getting up that next morning, I was gonna be donezo. Done.
I don't feel like I'm extrovert Cal is needed to pick up for conversation with me while we drive in from the airport.
That's not true, because I knew you were going to be mad when I picked you up. You're going to be like,
I don't need to talk about it. I just need a minute.
He just needs a Jack in the Box.
I'll do better.
If you'd have just got me Jack in the Box, I'd have been fine. So it started out a little bit rocky, but we got there, and this is probably...
It ended up being probably the smoothest episode that we did.
Well, it starts out by us discovering that there is... first off, I want to say my grandma, Judy, is the sweetest human being on the face of the planet. She makes the best biscuits and gravy and an incredible goulash. I would shove her to the ground to get away from a snake. I would shove Judy to the ground to get away from the snake. And you start the episode off by taking me to a reptile farm.
Really? That's where you're going? The airplane, the going into the cave in the ground, and I see a reptile farm, you're going to tell me no, and that's where you draw the line?
I didn't eat a bunch of sugar-free chocolate almonds before I went there. Thank goodness.
I slammed on the brakes, and I didn't look in the rearview mirror before to see if there's other people coming, and there was. But no, we went in there. It was so awesome. That place is so cool. Crocodile Encounter. And we walked in. There was a parrot in the lobby greeting everybody.
Oh, yeah, talking to you.
And they were so cool. Like, they were just like, they lived out there. Like, these were their babies.
And they really gave us, like, when we say gave us the behind the scenes tour, we really did. Like, you went in a crocodile encounter closure.
Can are we going to add that to the list of things not planned, by the way? Because when we went in...
No, it was not planned. It was not planned.
He said, yeah, we can feed some crocodiles. And we started on that balcony.
Yeah.
We started on the balcony.
The overlook.
That had a fence between you and the crocodile, right? Like, that was safe. You know, and that was still felt dangerous, by the way, because y'all didn't feed in them. When they grab onto that thing, it's like force. So if you don't, and that was the rule. That was the only rule. He said, do not let go of the stick. That's what he said. And so when you would do that, and they would grab that with the force of how powerful they were, like, you felt like your arm was going to get ripped off. And if you weren't, like, hunkered down, they would pull you forward, like, over the thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm experiencing this. I'm like, oh, man, these guys are powerful. Like, whoa, you know? And then he's like, all right, well, we should go inside and feed them in the water. And you guys were both like, sounds great.
Sounds great.
Once again.
Get in there, Cal. Chip, chop, chip. We need some content.
Once again, no matter what happened, great footage. It's going to be great footage.
Oh, my God.
Worst case. Called a death roll, Cal. Just go with it.
And he said, you're okay unless a few of them start coming out of the water at once. Then run. Just run.
Yeah, you said the bucket's your barrier.
Yeah, like that bucket. That 5 gallon.
This 5-gallon bucket.
5-gallon bucket, little roots. Oh.
This 5-gallon bucket is essentially the walls of Jericho.
As an artist, I use 5-gallon buckets for everything. So I'm like, I have a healthy respect for them, but not that healthy.
What saved my life from those crocodiles? 5-gallon bucket.
5-gallon bucket.
Oh, really? That's what it was. It was such a cool experience, though. Like, we did get to see baby alligators. You did try to steal one.
No, because they were so cute and they made those little noises.
No, no,
Yeah.
no,
Look at him.
He's good at
It's
it.
perfect.
Adam almost died one
'cause-
time
because when you
next
have
to
to defend yourself.
an alligator nest.
Yes.
Angry female. He fell out of the back of a side-by-side when filming
You
for
didn't know
another
that?
project.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Luckily, he was sitting on an ice chest in the
Yeah.
back of a Polaris Ranger in Florida where we were filming a female on her nest. And we filmed it. She came up and was very angry, protecting her nest, and she sounded like a velociraptor. Oh, yeah, it was crazy.
She was not happy.
9-foot female. Big female.
But then
Turn
it's
around
like,
and come back.
everything's done. You're going to get in the side-by-side and drive away. And I was sitting on the back of the ice chest, and
We hit a bump.
hit a little bump.
You know those the ice chests now are kind of rounded on the corners? It rocked, and I hear this yell, and I turn around and I see Adam's 2 feet sticking straight up in the air, flipping out of the back of the side-by-side.
I was holding all the camera gear because like I've got everything with me. It's like protect the camera gear and use whatever means you can to save this gear.
Luckily, his neck broke his fall. And so I jump out, and we're feet from this nest.
Like how many feet?
Like less than 20 feet away.
Which
from
is
this
not
nest.
far.
From
They're
a
so
9-foot female?
fast. They're so fast.
They're
You're
so
20 feet away
fast.
from a 9-foot female protecting her nest,
It
and
was-
Adam just fell out
just
like
froze.
a limp dead fish.
I got
He's
froze
like,
because I was just
here's
looking.
your food for the day.
So he
like,
hits
you
the
should-
ground and he's looking at the nest, right?
Like,
So his
and
head's turned.
I got my hands on the tripod of this camera, and I'm just staring at the nest because if that thing comes out, I'm gonna smoke
I have a
it.
GoPro on a stick, and I come out ready to. I was gonna fight her.
Yeah.
You know, if she came after him, and I'm yelling in his name, and he's not responding to me.
And it's because I'm dead eye locked on that nest, waiting for that alligator to come up over the top of it, and so he thinks I'm dead, broke my neck. He's coming out to fight with a selfie stick and a GoPro.
Yeah, it
Did
was.
he move?
She never came back out.
Yeah, she didn't come back out.
Did anybody
And
have footage of this?
Thought we did. I punched the record button when I flipped. Like you see the camera go, whoosh, and it cuts off because I
and I had the GoPro going, but it was
only pointed in one direction.
one direction, and so I didn't get the fall. But anyway, so we've had some encounters with
Okay.
close encounters with
Okay.
some alligators.
Okay.
But your crocodile experience really was unique. That was such a cool place.
It was super cool.
It was, and a great way for us to start the episode was that. But then learning some of the history of Angleton, because your mural there is this incredible black and white mural.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool. I don't know what it is about black and white, but like your detail on those longhorns, and for us to be able to go, and I mean, you talk about up close and personal with some longhorns.
Yeah.
Like you literally sat and were able to sketch feet away. I mean, there were times even when he would turn his head,
And he
like
was
you
like,
had to
"Whoa!"
you had to move to
Slip
get out of the
that
way.
punt, yeah.
Yeah, Ooh, almost got me. What was that experience like, Kel?
Oh, it was so beautiful. We that was kind of how one of the ways we started in, and we drove up there, and all the wildflowers were blooming, or well, he called them weeds, but they were flowers to me. So whatever.
Right.
We see him, and then there's all these longhorns, but for him, those are his babies. Like, I have a 200-pound Great Dane, the gentle giant of dogs, but longhorns are the gentle giant of cattle. Like, they usually are really very passive, very docile breed of cattle, And so when we got up there and he could call them in, and he told us a story about how he even acquired them, was just a love story to his wife, pretty much. It was neat, and he just loved them, and it wasn't his. He didn't grow up raising cattle. Like, this was a hobby that he got into later, and so to be able to be up that close, see them in all their majestic ways, you know. And like you said, like there was times that we were completely huddled around, and we were like, whoa, like this is like, okay, get the shot and get out of here, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's the thing with the longhorns. They're not going to hurt you necessarily, but let's say they're trying to itch a fly.
Oh yeah,
and
they
turn
whip
their
around.
Head, and those
especially
horns,
that one.
Those
like
horns go.
the big dude of that herd.
Yeah.
He had a spread.
Yes. So
He was big.
You don't want to be in the way of a longhorn that's got an itch. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
And so that was a big part of you being able to, you know, create this mural was actually, you know, you talk about this, being able to go and see, and because you've done longhorns before, you did one in Coleman,
Yeah.
and other places, but like being able to go and get up close and personal with what you're drawing or painting definitely helps.
Well, everything has a soul to it. You know, everything in art has a soul and a spirit and a way about it. So you want to try your best to capture that spirit, or at least I do. Like when, you know, if I'm painting a horse or something or a cow, whatever it is, to me it's less about the animal itself and it's more about what it you know is projecting. What does it say about it? How's the spirit of that animal? And I just don't think that there's any better way to kind of do that is with like seeing in their eyes, being with them, like hearing their breath, their stomps, so there's their weight in their feet. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy that the soulful eyes. Like I enjoy that the sad eyes or the spirit that has a story to tell, a secret that's hiding. You know, so all of those things are just the little things that go through artists' mind all the time. You know, you can be out there and see the twisted oak trees and you watch how the bark turns around and it looks aged or it looks just weathered in such a way that it has a soul. And if something doesn't have that imperfection or that beauty behind it, it's just not even interesting to me, really.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
100%. So that was cool to be able to do that. And then also going to MSR Houston.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I kind of sound like a broken recording about things that I wasn't excited about doing that this show has like brought me to, but that was kind of, I was scared to do the race car thing. Do you remember? I was nervous. Like when you guys were like, you told me we were going to do race cars and that someone would drive me. You said we were going to drive fast on a racetrack.
Well, you know, honestly, like I think that was kind of how it was first set up. It's like we'll have a driver, you know, you'll be able to get out on the racetrack. That was the initial conversation because I reached out to them, said who we were. We're with Cal's Hometown Revival, you know, explained to them where, you know, who we are, what we're doing. And they were like, yeah, you know, come out to the track. We'll have a driver. So I took that as, you know, you're probably riding in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
No, you weren't.
Or they had go-karts, so we thought the whole crew would do like the small go-karts.
Yeah, we kind of did think we'll do a go-kart.
But no. We show up and it's like a luxury car, like a Mercedes BMW, and they're like, okay, we're going to take this thing, like, and you're putting on a helmet and you're going to be driving it around the track as fast as you can.
Like 120 mile an hour. Yes.
Like, let's go, you know. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, because I do have like a little PTSD from being a kid. Like, this is a dumb story, but my dad had a riding lawnmower when I was little and I souped that thing up to level 5 and I wrecked it so many times that he banned me from mowing the grass. Like, I'm talking about embarrassingly wrecked this thing. So it has been a running joke, like, I don't need to be driving anything. So when you're telling me, oh, here you go, here's this expensive car, Cal, we trust you. It's great footage, right? Great footage?
Once again.
That's all we're going for.
Cal wrecks $100,000+ dollar vehicle.
Insurance.
Great footage. Great story. Once again, it's a win-win for...
It's a win-win for TV.
It's a win-win for TV.
But that's not what happened.
It's a loss for Cal.
Because Charlie was the coolest driving instructor of all time.
Great guy.
And he was like older and he'd race, so he didn't care. He got in there and he's like, girl, you just need to feel it and let go. We're going to have fun, you know? And when I got in there, and that's exactly what it did, and it really kicked into that like competitive adrenaline junkie in me. and I was like taking it kind of seriously, but like he was like, "You've never done this before." I was like, "No." It was
fun too.
great.
So I had a friend that came and joined us for the day. My friend Kendall Jones.
Yeah, Kendall's awesome.
She came and joined us on that. Hung out with us, and me and her were up on the flag tower, and so we're up on the flag tower, and we would get when you would go by, I could pick up your audio. Because I had my headphones on, and so when you go by, I would hear your audio, and he would be like, "You were like, hit the brake," and he's like, "No, hit the gas," and you're like, "Okay," you know. And so I got to hear just bits of the audio as you would roll through, and then you would go back to the back stretch. I'd pick it up at different times. So even though I wasn't in the car with you, there was moments I felt like I was in the car with you.
It was so cool, man. I could see how that is such a hobby for people and how it's like super addicting because it becomes like a chess game. Like once you're going fast and you're feeling those turns, and once you learn the track of like where those turns are, you become so addicted to be able to like, okay, I know exactly how to flow in this and keep my speed. But then when you think about elevating that to 20 other cars on the track also going
Doing
200 miles an hour and you're inches from each other, that's insanity. I can't even imagine what a rush that is.
Yeah. But so I would say like when it comes to like a place that has just incredibly cool things to do, Angleton's way up there.
Angleton had so many cool things to do.
I mean, like family friendly. Like you want to take your family and you want to go to the Crocodile. I mean, obviously, they're not going to let your little. Yeah, your family was there.
We literally brought family with us.
Right, exactly. Like your kids were there while we filmed that segment. Like their kids were like, "I wonder if it's going to eat Cal." Like, you know, I could just see like Addie Faye, your little girl, being
Josie like. Josie literally asked me. She was like, "Is that safe?" I was like, "No, no, it's not.
No, it's not. Cal's fine, but she's protected by a 5-gallon bucket.
It's okay.
It's fine." And so, anyway, like there was a horrible lightning storm the other day out here, and Addie Faye was had a 5-gallon bucket to protect.
Yeah, she was running around.
I heard that 5-gallon buckets will protect you from all things. Anyway, but Angleton really did so the racetrack there, unbelievable facility.
Yeah, just
like,
the coolest.
Such a cool place. Like MSR Houston. Like I would say. I mean, it's in Angleton, and I know they have the name Houston in their name, and it's just because they are. Angleton's not very far from Houston. But if you are in Houston, it's like drive there. Like go to Angleton. You know what I mean? Like it's worth it.
Yeah, because,
it's worth it.
Because Angleton is a small town. It is a small town, and it's a 45-minute shot to downtown Houston. Because I would train at Main Street professional boxing and MMA gym in downtown Houston, and it was a straight shot. So no really even traffic. Just you were right there. So it's such an easy drive out to Angleton, and I love the location of Angleton too, for that reason of it being like 15 minutes to the beach, 45 minutes to Houston, but total small town.
Right, it was, and that was another thing too. It's like you just brought that up, is that you got to see that we go to the beach, and you're 15 minutes. You're 15 minutes away from the ocean, and
when we were down there painting, it was just one of those things that we would wrap up and head down to the coast. You know what I mean? Like that we would go watch the sunset, go eat down there and enjoy. So it's so nice that the city manager there, Chris, that's like his big thing. Like he wears these funky clothes and at the mayor's, down at the city hall, and he wanted the beach painted behind him because he has a side door, and whenever he just feels like he's done for the day, he heads down to the beach. Like they love that.
Yeah, and it definitely had that vibe.
Yeah.
Definitely did. But also, like, that area is so full of history, and we got to experience a little bit firsthand. But I mean, I'm talking about like history from a standpoint of not only just Texas history but U.S. history in so many ways. You've got Sam Houston that's right there. Like there's so much history there, and I guarantee another thing you did not see you being a part of was probably shooting a cannon.
No, not at all. Not at all. And again, we showed up and the guys were like, "This is the dangerous thing you might do all week, this cannon thing," Like,
and you're like, I've fed alligator or crocodiles, and I have driven in a race car.
And this is the
and
most
here I
dangerous
am.
thing. Okay.
And they were full decked out. Like we didn't have any idea what we were really walking into.
No, we had no idea what we were walking into, and we pulled up, parked the car. And at
they're
this point,
in
we
full-
were in skeleton crew mode as well too. So
yeah.
I mean, it
It's
was just a few
me and you.
me and you and Cal, and we were just trying to get kind of our last thing that we wanted to shoot, just scheduling stuff with them. And we pulled up, and it looked like we had walked into the Civil War.
Yeah, we really had, and we were like, they were in full.
Would it break character?
Yeah, did not
They
break
did
character.
not break character. They
No.
were in full regalia,
It was awesome.
ready to go. Made sure, and I mean, even with you, like I remember when I'm filming it, and they're like, make sure you stay behind these lines and stuff when you're doing it. And there's one time that like my toe crossed a line, and they were like, behind the line. Hey, Captain.
They did too. They did. They totally did. They were hard up on it. And
were
so like
hardcore.
so skeleton crew, you got to think we are running 2 cameras and a drone the entire time with 2 people.
Me and you.
And so we had one camera. You had a camera.
I was running
Moving.
back and forth between a camera on a tripod and the camera that I was using to just rove.
Right.
And then you were flying a drone.
I'm flying a drone through
and
it.
probably like holding a phone under that and trying to social media stuff. And it was a lot, but
It was
ended up
insane.
working out
And
really
but we
cool.
did. How cool was it to shoot
It was cool.
a stinking cannon?
It was really cool.
It was really cool, and then be able to learn a little bit of the history of the area, talk about that. How
Cal learned that pirating is quite lucrative.
Very lucrative pirating.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Like I mean, they were commissioning. Like learning the history is like when Texas didn't have a navy.
No, they
And
were
so-
literally commissioning pirates.
They were commissioning pirates to be
Legal pirates.
to be there. Yeah, you're
They
a
had
legal
a
pirate. You
document.
fly under our
It was-
flag now.
I remember what he said. It was like a writ of something. It's some document. It's like people are like, you're a pirate. We're arresting you. He was like, I'm government certified piracy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. It was crazy. Like, I mean, it was such a crazy time. But there's just so much history there. There's
Yeah.
so much history there. There's so much to do there.
Even back to the history with the Longhorn and Angleton was a
Yeah.
major staple. Like that was one of the first places that Longhorns were introduced in Texas. We had no clue until we got in there and started doing the research and was like, this is a cool story.
And that makes the Longhorn
even more
mural that
special.
much, that much special.
And the guy whose wall it was on, Derek the D's, they have been a big part of renovating downtown Angleton. They have bought a lot of those buildings in downtown and have revitalized them. So it was really neat to be able to do this specific mural on his wall.
Right.
And in that too, we didn't get to have much footage because he wasn't available on when we were filming during the days we had the crew there. But I did collaborate with another artist on this piece for Angleton, and that was Cameron Alexander. So I just want to give him a shout out because he wasn't able to make the film days for that. But he was definitely a part of that mural there in Angleton too.
Well, there's another part that I thought was really, really neat is that while we were down there working on the mural filming, there's not a bathroom.
No.
And so we just invaded a boutique that is connected to that building.
Yeah.
And we're just, I can't tell you how many times we walked in and just be like, thank you.
Yeah, your dressing room, bathroom, everything else.
And
then
that lady was just so kind. She was like,
Yeah.
anything you guys need, please, like take some of the, take some of those chocolates, take this, like, we're like, no, whatever. And so the ending,
Yeah.
we had no idea. Like, this
No
comes
idea.
back to the unscripted aspect of what we do.
and I'm out there, I'm with it's me and Gilly, Hess and Titus, and we take her out in front of the mural just we want to get her reaction for what she thinks about the mural. And she starts talking and she starts tearing up and is like, these Longhorns remind me of my dad. And I get to drive by them every day. And
Coming to work, they're
it
literally
just
on the building,
reminds
yeah.
me of my dad. And he had these Longhorns and I miss him so much and stuff. And so literally she's telling us that, and me, Gilly's got tears coming down his face and he can't wipe them because he's got the boom pole. He's holding it up. Like, we're all just sitting there. Like, after she got done talking, like, I just had to go up and give her a big hug. And I was like, thank you so much. That was such a cool story. And then I came up to you and I said, did you have any idea that when you were painting this mural that it would be something so special to this woman?
Absolutely not. You know, and I think that that's the thing is like we have been around her and she had never even had said that.
She never mentioned it.
And sometimes
It was just personal to her.
it was personal, but you know, it's like sometimes I paint these and I don't get to see or all the stories and the way that other lives interact with the art or what it means to them, you know. So even doing this show has been really special to some people have come back and said certain things or shared certain memories with their children and pictures that they've taken there, and it just is incredible to me that like we really have done something that's involved everyone. You know, it wasn't like we just painted a mural and left. Like people, they stand behind that is part of them too.
For sure. No,
Yeah.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you talk about that as that it's, you know, it's people finding pride in where they're from, in their, you know, in themselves, in their hometown. And I think, you know, I bet you there's so many stories like that of things that you painted. I mean, for me, how we met was I stood in front of one of your murals for probably 4 minutes, and we've talked about that. Like I've stood in front of your mural for probably 4 minutes in all. Like it was just, it spoke to me, and I say this all the time. I'm not an art guy, you know, but it was incredible. I was captivated by it, and that's what led to us, you know, even meeting and being where we are today.
Yeah.
You know, and so you know how many people never had the opportunity to actually meet you, that you're, you know, that piece said something to them. It spoke to them where they were.
And that's sometimes like it's such a gift when I do get to hear that kind of stuff, because I really don't realize sometimes the impact it does have on people. You know, I'm always just kind of like, okay, there's another town, and on to the next in a way, but it means a lot to me when people say stuff like that. You know, that it means something to me, so it's really neat to hear that it also meant something to them, you know.
For sure.
And it helps inspire me to keep doing this, you know, and on those long days in that hot sun, it's like, okay, this does people
One of the crew
care.
members too, while we were there, you know, it's just kind of the heartfelt. Somebody had a birthday.
Adam. Oh my gosh, at the Mexican food restaurant.
We celebrated Adam's birthday.
Yeah.
In Angleton. So Cal, what's fixing to happen?
It's Adam's birthday. And we asked him to just embarrass him. I think he's getting a sombrero. Look at that beard. 38 years old.
And we had an opportunity to sing happy birthday to Adam. And they brought out the hat.
That lady slapped that whipped cream on his head.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. I was like, oh, sombrero. Like, oh, this is cute and fun. Ha, 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 ha. And then out of the blur, right out just from behind me, just pow! Whipped cream in the face. And
Adam. All right. Adam's gonna be celebrating his birthday. We can sing "Happy Birthday" to Adam on the count of three. Ready? All right. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adam. Happy birthday to you.
Birthday's over. Give me that back. I'm really glad I chose not to sit next to you.
It's okay. It's in the beard. It's cool with close arms.
Hey Adam, remember how we talked about we were going to be like, hey, people go to our YouTube channel to see behind the scenes. But then, guess what? This is the behind the scenes.
This is a promo for another YouTube channel you're gonna see. It's called "It's Probably Gonna Suck."
It's probably going to suck.
I got a feeling there's gonna be a good review on this place. I'm just glad it wasn't sour cream. Imagine, gosh, that'd be awesome.
Just hit the face with sour cream.
Sour cream or shaving cream, and you don't know until.
I like how she just.
It was good.
Happy birthday.
Happy B-Day. Welcome to 38. Here's some whipped cream.
Slapped you in the face. That was great, man. It was great.
And you guys are from Oklahoma, and y'all ended up staying and doing vacation with family down there.
We did. Yeah, our families all came. We stayed at the beach. We swam. We had a great time. Like
Yeah.
Angleton, when it comes to like having so much to do for your family, Angleton's it. Like Angleton had so much to offer. Cool things from cars to crocodiles to
You got something there. Cars to Crocs to
cannons.
Wait.
Cars, Crocs, and cannons. Come see us in Angleton.
Sold.
we didn't get it on film, but the Dirty South, which is right across the street from the wall,
Yeah, we did eat there.
is a really great place to eat. I say get the petite steak with the garlic mashed potatoes and all that. So good. They have incredible live music scheduled there. That place is popping. Like almost every night of the week that it's open, they have and it's a small venue. So if you love to be in like a very small venue that's like full, like everybody is playing great music, but you're like from here, you're 20 feet away from the person that's playing, and you kind of get to hear all that.
Yeah.
Dirty South is super cool for that. Like
Okay.
people drive in town for the music that they put on there. So
I love it.
yeah.
That was great. Well, we hope you guys have enjoyed a little bit behind the scenes of Angleton, Texas, action-packed episode. A lot going on there. Make sure you give us a follow on our social media. Cal's Hometown Revivals on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And also visit calshometownrevival.com for all of your merch needs as well. And then we'd love for you to not only like this video, but also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as
Hit
well.
that thumbs up button. And comment down below.
All the things. Yeah, leave comments. Cal, tell them to comment.
Listen, I just learned about this commenting thing, and I'm gonna be checking these YouTubes and reading y'all's comments. So, like,
You sound like my grandpa.
I'm going to be looking at these YouTubes, checking out these comments and stuff.
I'm
You can send us a
excited.
letter at P.O. Box. No.
No, literally, I still pay my bills with stamps and mail and checks and a checkbook. I still use a checkbook.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
great. We hope you guys had a great time today, learning, like I said, behind the scenes of Cal's Hometown Revival, and we'll see you on the next one.
Come join the family and follow us on all of our social media. Roll it!